I was working non-stop, hardly getting any sleep. You don't have time to think about what it's doing to you because you're firefighting everything. Every phone call was starting to affect me. Every time something didn't go right, I was reluctant to consider that I was stressed.
I got myself into a bit of a spiral with all the payday loans. And in the end, I ended up with 4 payday loans.
My partner Michael, he had a very stressful job, so with everything just got on top and it just made him have a breakdown. When he stopped working, they stopped his working tax credit after 28 weeks. About 2 months, we never had no money at all coming in.
I had to go to Citizens Advice because I had a form that I needed to fill in for my son, a disability living allowance form. He has severe asthma, he has eczema, but he also has a problem with his knee at the moment that the doctors have not actually said what it is. Basically, because he's not in a wheelchair, they don't see him as having a disability.
At the time that I went to the bureau, I received a letter from Atos saying that I was well enough to work. At that time, I was in bed and had no appetite for anything really. I was in a very bad state. Couldn't afford the gas or electric, so I lived in the cold. Not that I cared, because I didn't really care for anything. I just didn't want to wake up in the morning. So I don't know how I survived.
It made me feel a bad mum, a bad partner. We was wrapping up more in blankets than we was putting on the heating because we just never had the money to put on the gas. I was at a point where I thought no one's going to help me. This is it. I've got to do this all myself. Nothing's going to go right. And then my mother-in-law said, why don't you go down to the Citizens Advice Bureau? And I went, yeah, but everyone goes down there a long way. And that's if they can sort it out. That's if you get seen. But I did. I went down early, got seen. The lady obviously knew how to speak to him, what lingo to use, so it was totally different. And she had different numbers to what I could phone in and speak to people.
My local CAB is at my library, and I saw a gentleman there, and he was really helpful. He made me feel really at ease, and he just explained different things to me, because I felt that I'd done something really bad, and I thought, oh, this is terrible what I've done. But it didn't make me feel like that at all, not at all, and I'm really pleased that I went to see them.
I phoned up and explained what had happened, and they made me an appointment within that week, which I was quite shocked because it was quite soon. I went down there, we spoke. We had a meeting for about half an hour, explained everything, and they said they'll phone up for the form, which they did. They phoned up for the form. The form was sent to us 2 weeks later. I phoned up again to say I've received the form. And again, I went straight down there. We had a 2-hour meeting to fill out the form. We sent it off. It was all done quite quick, within 2 weeks.
When the advisor finally saw me, she realised I was in a bit of a distressed state. And she put me at my ease, asked me some questions, and then quite literally took it from there, really. Because of the state I was in, I couldn't deal with the forms, and therefore I would not have been able to make any representation to the tribunal. I wouldn't have been able to approach the tribunal.
They said the priority are things like your rent and utility bills, and these are not high priority. So that was one thing off of my mind. And then they said, work out all your money, your budget everything, and work out what you can pay. And then get in touch with them and let them know just how much you can pay them per month. And that was sort of, such a relief. Because once I was told they weren't the sort of high priority, that I could sleep. I could sleep that night, but I hadn't been sleeping because it had been on my mind the whole time.
Touch wood, everything's sorted now. We're getting all our money properly, and free school meals, housing benefit, council tax benefit.
Even if I don't get the DLA, I still got the Citizens Advice there to go back and help me fight for my housing, so I don't have to move so far again.
The tribunal found in my favour, and I was then able to receive the entitlements that I now now get.
They were very practical, and they gave me very practical advice, which I was very, very grateful for. So I know that I could always, anything else that comes up in my life where I'm not sure about anything, I know that I would definitely go there again, speak to somebody.
My views on Citizens Advice is I recommend it to everyone and anyone that have asked me. If they've got problems, my first thing is go to Citizens Advice, phone them up and make an appointment.
I could have lost my home, got even more entrenched in my condition, and maybe not be able to see any sign of recovery. So, though you helped me with a legal aspect, you've also helped my mental health as well.
Citizens Advice Bureau, what they've done for me, everything. If they wasn't there, I don't know what I'd be doing now, to be honest. They've helped me a hell of a lot, and I would recommend them to everyone. If there's a small problem, big problem, I'll go to the Citizens Advice Bureau. They're brilliant people, they help you out. They're brilliant.